Next, section 7.3, the hyperbola now. This is the last conic section we cover here in this chapter. So the hyperbola, what is the hyperbola? The hyperbola takes this equation first to start. The equation of the hyperbola is given by x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. Similar to the ellipse equation, just this is minus in the middle instead of plus. And here a does not have to be bigger than b. Now, where is this? How does that look like? There are two forms of the hyperbola. Either they both, the hyperbola, this is a hyperbola. They always open right, left, or up and down. So let's look at the right, left first. So I'm going to take these 2 points, connect them horizontally like so. The midpoint of this is the center. So IHK is the center of the hyperbola. And these 2 points that are labeled A and B, those are called the vertices. So vertices, no co-vertices here. The foci are the points inside the hyperbola, each one of them. So F1, F2, those are the foci. This distance is a, small a. So if you go up small b and down small b, up small b, down small b, let's put a inside, and then connect them. So b, b, like that. Then connect this with this, which goes through the center, like that. Same thing here. These green lines are called asymptotes. The asymptotes are the line that they help us sketch a graph, a better graph. So if I want to resketch this, I would sketch it like this. The asymptote is the line the graph approaches, like that. So it puts bounds on the graph. It tells you how wide this is gonna open, like that. And this one, it goes down more wide. Same thing for this one. So the green ones are the asymptotes. What are the equation of these asymptotes? Well, if you remember the equation of the line, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This one. So that would be y minus h comma k for this. So k equals x minus h here. And then what goes for the slope, if you remember, this is the slope. Slope is rise over run. So if you look at this one, the rise is b and the run is a. So it's a plus or minus b over a. Plus or minus, because one for the one that's going up and one for the one that's coming down. So that's the equation of the asymptotes. So what we learned here about the parabola, its equation, foci, vertices, and the asymptotes, and how we graph it. Now, what about if it opens up and down? What happens to the equation? Then these get switched. So if it starts with y squared, then minus x squared, then it opens up and down. But since it starts with x squared, it's going to open toward the x-axis this way. Let's look at an example. Given the hyperbola x minus 1 squared over 16 minus y squared over 9 equals 1. Find the center. Vertices, foci, and equations of asymptotes. So what's the center here? Center here is 1 comma 0. This is the one, there's nothing there. So 1 comma 0. That's h comma k. Always the first number we start with, always going to be a, or a squared. So a here is 4. And the next number is always 9. So the b squared I meant. So b is 3. Now, is there a formula for c? Yes, there is a formula that connects a, b, and c. It's c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So in ellipses, it was minus. Hyperbolas, it's a plus. So if I want to find that out, so c squared is a squared plus b squared. C squared is 16 plus 9, which is 25. So C is 5. C is 5. So now what we can do, we can sketch the given. If you remember, plot the given is the key, really the key to get me everything I need. So the center is 1, 0. A is 4. So it's gonna go, because it starts with x squared, so it's gonna open to the right and left. So from here we're gonna go 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's at 5. So it's gonna open this way, and 1, 2, 3, 4 units. That's for the A. So that's -3. So it's gonna open this way. That's the center. So I'm graphing it, so it helps us. C is the distance. Where is C on the graph? Just so you know, the C is the distance from the center to the focus. That's C. And same thing on the other end. So this is C. So from the center to the focus is C. So this means from this point here, I'm going to go 5 units to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the first focus. And the other focus would be here. So the foci would be F1, 6, 0, F2, -4, 0. These are the foci. So we have the center, we have the foci, we have the vertices we're going to find. This is A and B. So the vertices, A has coordinates -3, 0. B has coordinates 5, 0. These are the vertices. And then we have to find the asymptotes, equations of the asymptotes. Asymptotes y minus k equals plus or minus b over a, x minus h. So the center was 1, 0. That's the center. So y minus 0, x minus 1, because that's hk, plus or minus. B here, b is what? What is b? b is 3 and a is 4. So 3 over 4. So the final answer would be plus or minus 3/4 times x minus 1. These are the equations of the asymptotes. 2 of them. Plus for one of them and the minus for the other one. Let's do the same for another example. Same for, let's say, x squared over 64 minus, so then y plus 1 squared over 36 equals 1. So notice it starts with x squared, so I know it's going to open to the right and left, not up and down. Always the first number here is a squared, so a squared is 64. From here you can find a. The next number is always b squared, so b from here is 6. From these two I always get c, so a squared plus b squared. That's 64 plus 36, which is 100, so c squared is 100. So this means c is 10. Then we have the center with coordinates 0, -1. 0, -1. So now we are going to finish this up and make it easy for us. Always plot the given, 0, -1. So it's going to be here. That's the center. What else we have? A is 8. So we're going to move to the right side 8 units. So maybe it's here, let's say. That's one of the vertices. Call it A. So it's going to open like this. And then down this way, -8. That's B. So we got A and B. That's the origin. So now that gave me the coordinates of the vertices. So vertices we have, A has coordinates 8, -1, A, -1, and B -8, -1. Also, we can use C. C was what? C is 10. So if you move here to 10, this is focus 1, -10, focus 2. So the foci, F1 is 10, -1, and F2 is negative 10, negative 1. So these are the foci. And we can find the equation of the asymptotes. Y minus k is plus or minus b over a, x minus h. So y minus k, so this is 0, negative 1, hk. K is negative 1, so that's a plus 1, plus or minus, and this was 0. B is 6 and a is 8, so 6 over 8. Make sure you simplify it. So y plus 1 is plus or minus 3 over 4x. You can leave it like this, or you can, it would be better if you can also subtract 1. So we found the asymptotes, vertices, foci, center, and we graphed it. The next one, what about if they ask us to find the equation of the hyperbola? Find the equation of the hyperbola. With center 2, 3, vertex 6, 3, and focus F8, 3. So now what we do is we are gonna plot these points on the graph. 2, 3. That's the center. The vertex 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 3. That's the vertex. And the focus is 8, 3. So this means the parabola is going to open to the right. So this parabola, and then on the other side there's another one. So it's going to open right and left for the whole hyperbola. 1, 2, 3, label everything. So to find the equation, because it opens to the right and left, is going to be x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared equals 1. So h comma k, this is 2, 3. So x minus 2 squared, y minus 3 squared equals 1. So we need now a and b. Where is a and b? This is a from here to here, that's a. A is the distance from 2 to 6, which is 4. So a is 4. Now how do I find b? B is the distance that goes up and down, but it's not given. But they give us another thing from here to here, that's the c, which is from 2 to 8, that's 6 units. So c is 6 units. From these two, we know the formula, c squared is a squared plus b squared. Why am I doing this? Because remember, I want to find the b, a and b. So I have a, but I don't have b. So 6 squared, 4 squared plus b squared. 36 is 16 plus b squared. Subtract that, you get 20. 20 is b squared. So now a squared is 16. B squared is 20. So that would be the equation. So in summary, always if we would like to find the equation of the hyperbola, the way it goes, we need the center, which is a, includes h and k, and the a and b and the center, and a and b and the center. So note here, when we start with x minus h squared over a squared minus y minus k squared over b squared is 1, that would be something that opens to the left and to the right. Okay, and in this case the equation, the asymptote was y minus k plus or minus b over a times x minus h. What about if it starts with y? So y minus k squared, there's always a squared here. X minus h squared equals this. So in this case, the hyperbola is going to open up and down, up and down. And what happens to the equation of the asymptotes? So it still starts with y minus k plus or minus. A and b gets swapped, like switched or flipped. B over a becomes. Now, find the equation of the hyperbola. with center I, -1, -2, focus, and vertex, -1, -4. So let's see how we find the equation of this hyperbola. So the first thing, the key to solve a lot of questions is plot the given. Plot the given. In conics, plot the given. The given will tell us everything. So -1, -2. Let's plot this one now. X, Y. -1, -2. That's the center. Focus -1, -4. So -1, -4. And then vertex, vertex -1, -4. No, the focus, sorry, the focus is -1, 4. So the focus should be up there. This is the vertex. This is the vertex. The focus should be 1, 2, 3, 4 here. That's a focus given to us. Okay. So what does that mean? This is one of the vertices. So the parabola is going to go down this way. Okay. And then because of the focus, there has to be another open like parabola that goes up. But let's see where that's going to be. This distance is A. That's 2 units. So A is 2 units from here. So if you go up another 2 units, so that would be here. So that means it's going to go like this. The other vertex. The other vertex. At -1, 0. Well, again, what they ask me to do, find the equation. What do I need? I need H, I need K, I need A, and I need B. 4 things. I have A already. They give me the center, -1, -2. That's H, that's K. So we find H, K, and A. We still need B. Now, how do you find B? Well, from the focus that we haven't used yet, this distance from here to here, that's C. Always from the focus to the center, it's C. So C in this case, if you count, there's 2 units and other 4, that's 6 units. So from these two, I know that C squared is A squared plus B squared. 6 squared equals 2 squared plus B squared. 36 equals 4 plus B squared. So 32 equals B squared. Right? So B squared is 32. So then what we have here is, remember, it opens up and down. So it has to start with Y. Y minus K. Always K with Y and H with X. Always A squared in hyperbola starts always with A squared. And X minus H squared equals 1. So H was -1, K -2. So Y minus -2, X minus -1. A here, A is 2, so that's 2 squared, and B squared is 32. So then this finalizes it to Y plus 2 squared over 4 minus X plus 1 squared over 32 equals 1. We don't have to simplify more. That gives me the equation of the hyperbola. So again, one more time, if the hyperbola opens up and down, it has to start with the Y term. And A squared is always in the first spot, always in the first fraction in hyperbolas. Always has to be 1 on the right side, not -1. Don't make sure not to get -1 on the right side. Always 1. Okay, in hyperbolas and ellipses. Here, notice we didn't use the equation of the asymptotes because it's not asked us to find them. Always to find the equation of the hyperbola, you need 4 things. The same thing with ellipses. H, K, A, and B. H, K, A, and B. So it's very important for students to know what is A on the graph. What is A? This is A. A is the distance from the center to the vertex. B, usually we don't use it on the graph here unless if the asymptotes are given. But C is always the distance from one of the foci to the center, from one of the foci to the center, as you can see in green here. So C is the 6 units. So always from A and C I can find B. using c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So that gives me what I need, which is b squared. So as soon as you have a, b, h, and k, you can find the equation of the hyperbola.